Welcome. Okay, so we are looking at some of the games here. This is the game between Hadassah and Miarana. I don't know how strong Hadassah is, but from what most people say, I expect her to kind of do very well in this tournament. Again, this is PMChess. Wait, are we going to get a Berlin draw? I don't remember these lines. Give me a second. Let me just highlight that the games have started so that people can join in. Sorry about that. So here we are now. Okay, the games are going on quite fast, which is interesting. Like these are, it's like 25 minutes, but the speed at which this is going is very fast. And Hadassah is about to make a very big mistake and lose a rook. Yeah, so let's just go over this game and look at it from the beginning. Okay, so we had yeah, whenever you're playing on the black side of things like these, okay, after this, yeah, then that was a blunder. Yeah, and it's simply, look, like it took her 50, what? It took her 18 seconds to play this move. Took her 58 seconds to play this, which is interesting because the first thing you should look at is the fact that your opponent attacking your knight. Then you evade that, but she just gave her opponent like a free. Yeah, so this is already like a lost game. And funny enough, she still never castled, right? She never castled. So this is not where you want to be. Yeah, this is completely over. So Hadassah is going in with a loss here. An arbiter has been called. I'm guessing some players are not at their board. Yeah, they're waiting for some of the games to start. Okay, so Maoli Richardson's game has started. We had e4. I know Maoli plays the Italian. Oh, okay. We're having a Piet. Yeah, it is a Piet at the moment. Okay, now we're having like a Dragon Sicilian if you play c4, c5 here. And this is just principled. Ideally, okay, this is interesting by Maoli. I would mostly just go and attack on the queen side here. If you've been watching my streams, you know this kind of line. And if knight takes, okay. So maybe trade of queens. Now that doesn't help you. Castle king side and then trade queens. It depends on who has the better end game play or who can play better without a queen. That's what it's going to depend on over here. And I'm not so sure. This is an interesting line to go through. Okay, so we're in the current position of this game. This is going to be an interesting one. The way they simplified straight into this position here is pretty interesting. I would expect like more action in the game, but this is like a Philidor structure where you just trade off the queens early on. It's interesting. Okay, so let me reduce the volume of my phone before I get a phone call and don't know what to do. Okay. Okay, so we have queen here, avoiding the trade of queens. Sorry, interesting. He's going to develop his bishop maybe here. No, not that doesn't make much sense. Okay, you could, yeah. So bishop to e6, bishop takes, queen takes, and now we are prepping like rook a to d1, rook a to d8, attacking the queen to e2, and then we still play chess. He chooses to retreat. I think he wants the trade and opening of this file because his bishop and his rook target the square, albeit doesn't really create much of a threat because the knight also defends the square. This takes away so many things. Yeah, so normally when you get these fianchetto structures, the way to attack them is to go h4, h5, but in this structure I feel like it's going to be a hard thing to kind of prove. So we're going to just get into this symmetrical kind of end game, which is very boring and it's going to be a lot of work. So let's see if this one has also started. Okay, the game between Maoto has also not started. This game has been paused. When I see this, I think that one player is online, the other isn't. So we are still waiting for something here. Hepzibah's game still hasn't started. This is all round 1. Yeah, this is still a bad position. She's still a piece down. I don't see her winning this. So let's go back to this game. Okay, so what did we miss here? Okay, so like we said, after the bishop came back, rook comes in, queen to e2. Really? Okay, right now it's just like a maneuvering game. They're just developing their pieces where they think they'll be better placed. And now Maoli goes on the queen side assault. Bishop takes, and still the problem remains. This pawn is hanging. Should you push the pawn forward? Like, should you push the pawn forward? You get queen takes c6, and you lose your knight there. And should you play the? I mean, it's how do you defend this as white, as black? Sorry, I don't see how black defends. I think black is just going down the pawn. Yeah, I mean, the moment you see queen e2, you should start thinking about your queen side and play maybe something like a6 here. But for some reason, black was just too focused on getting this kind of structure. I mean, it's good to play your plans in chess, but you should always look out for what your opponent is trying to do and working against what your opponent, whatever your opponent is trying to do. So you could have always played this later on, but then you needed to stop your opponent's plan of coming into the square. So yeah, so far so good. Okay, he stops it with the rook. Yeah, but then you still have bishop takes. And the thing about bishop takes is like, if I go bishop takes and you go pawn push, I still play queen takes, right? So bishop takes, then rook comes in here, then bishop back is a move, or bishop comes in here, knight takes, rook takes, and now you have two pieces staring down at this. You have to play like knight here. Wait, what? Why did you bring the knight? Why didn't you just cash in? I mean, I would have just cashed in there. Yeah, why didn't you just cash in on that pawn? I think it's a free pawn. I don't think there's any like hidden motif there. He wants to sack the knight. I see. That's fine, but then you also allow the move e4. So now he finally plays that, goes back, and now I think we are getting e5, right? e4 is just a nice way to imbalance the game, and e4 allows you to like chances here. So e4, if takes, you take here. If takes, I mean, it's a free pawn, you can take here, threatening this. If king takes, then you have bishop takes here, right? So that's the main reason I'm looking at e5. I feel like e5 makes more sense. e4 makes more sense for black. There's no engine here, so you just have to trust me. There's no engine, so you just have to trust me on this. Of course, I'd like to know what you guys are feeling about the position as well. But yeah, still okay, still problems. Let's see if there are any more. Okay, only 2 games have started here. Other games haven't started, so we can still wait on this game. Let's see if there are any other games that have started here. Oh, Philip Taboto's game has supposedly started. Nope. Yeah, so we expected this to happen. Yeah, it was just a very big mistake at the beginning. Thought she was much more skilled than that, at least from what I'd heard. Well, I think the point is whoever she was being compared with. Okay, so is it Hepzibah or is Hadassah? Which one was I being told about? I really can't tell. Okay, so Hepzibah has made the first move. Her opponent is not ready, so no move has been made, I guess. I think we can look at okay, only one move has been made here. I think this is another active game. I just want to see if there's any Ghanaian. Okay, Catherine's game is on, but she isn't making her move. Yeah, Catherine has to make a move and she isn't making her move. Sucks. Yeah, there are no moves. I mean, people are not online. Okay, this game is actually going on. There's Adeola Mushoboro versus Salima Azinova. Interesting. Interesting structure here. You could try aiming at this pawn, right? So you could play something like queen here, rook here, double up the rooks. I mean, you might not have to lead with the queen, but it's very difficult to find a safe square for this queen. You could play this actually, but that allows your opponent to play pawn push. And after takes, rook takes, you lose that kind of like edge. But here black looks better. Pawn structure wise, he's going to easily like deal with this pawn. That's why I'm kind of advocating for queen here, keeping this backward pawn and possibly transferring the queen here and like putting pressure on like your opponent here, this side, and then like switching with rook here. Possibly when the queen goes in here and your opponent defends, then you want to go like rook here or something. Those are kind of like the things I'm looking at. So it makes sense to be taken in this position. But then when you play this move, your opponent just has a clear pawn up. But you play this pawn push, takes, rook takes, and now you just have to like deal with this. I don't think you want to do it. Let's go back where we stop. So here, yeah, and he finally goes for the move I was talking about. Plays knight back, interesting. Well, we still can get the pawn. Should we also play like knight back, trying to cycle ourselves here? I mean, it introduces this annoyance. But we could also play for those ideas where the knight comes into one of these two squares, you know? I mean, it doesn't work now, but you can think about it. Of course, I think one of the obvious moves is this, which kind of blocks this and allows your opponent to play this move. But I think it's worth it, because if your opponent does play this move, stopping the bishop, then you actually do have this move, which is a pain. Which is a pain. Okay. Maybe I should stream on Twitch. I mean, there's no real pressure on this pawn from white because white has a defender twice. You have to lead with the knight take, so it doesn't make much sense. So yeah, I'm looking at knight here or knight here. Actually, even knight here exists, but that doesn't make any sense. So I'll make that move. The only way you make that move is to provoke this, but you're not actually provoking it. Maybe you are actually. Maybe you play knight here provoking it, but I feel like the knight can easily get misplaced here. That's why I'm not really like for this move, like knight here. Because knight here indeed does provoke, like, because you still keep the bishop square opened. Your opponent might provoke to play this to kind of hold the bishop, but that gives you access to this square. So it's up to him, whether here or here. Or in some cases, I think even here makes sense. Backward move here just locks the knight. So I'm not in support of that. So I'm just looking at the forward moves kind of. So here, yeah. But I think like what I think is a good move has to do with coming in this way and maybe coming in this way. I'm not so sure about this one. Wait, what? Wait, what? Why there? Oh. Yeah, but this way your opponent defends it easily. Okay. Now you're getting threatened for checkmate. Wait. So here. Yes, possibly I could have missed that myself, yeah. Yeah, so I missed that idea myself. Ah, so he was planning on doubling and then coming in this way. Yeah, we missed this idea completely. Wait. Okay. Yeah, this position is just lost. You can only hold the position for one move. Because this doesn't stop it, this doesn't stop it. Can't do anything here. Okay, the game has actually now started. Still no moves. Okay, this is Malta Richardson's game. Which has actually gone crazy. Who knows, after this game I might switch to Twitch. So yeah. So what happened in this game became so crazy? Where did we stop? Wait, what? No, this is Mauto. This is not Mauli's game. Okay, so let's go from the beginning and see. E4, E5. Okay, so we have a symmetrical position here. Yeah. Oh, this is, yeah. I think in some clients you see A5, A4 being played. I thought it's A4 you play here, not A3. I thought the theory is A4. What? Yeah, but B4 is a move here, which is kind of why they play A3 to prepare B4. Yeah, this game is very symmetrical. Yeah. Knight jumps in, takes, bishop takes. Okay, he doesn't want to lock in his bishop, so knight takes, pawn takes, knight jumps back, and then I push E5. Wow. No longer symmetrical. F5 is an idea that you should always think about here. Why is he moving towards the queen side? I'm not so familiar with some of the ideas he's playing here, because he's giving his opponent. Oh, sorry, it froze. I thought I've reached the live moves. Because like I don't see what the knight is doing here. I mean, if the knight comes in here, he's just targeting this. He doesn't even have to move it, right? Sorry, it's just targeting this. You play pawn push and the knight comes here. Is that what he's aiming for? I can't really tell if that's even good or not. So knight comes in and the queen comes in to block. Takes, spoiling the pawn structure. I don't get this. Yeah, because the moment he makes a reshuffling move with his knight, then the question is like, what was the point? Okay. Okay. Some progress. You'd definitely have loved to play pawn takes here, but now after this move, you have to reshuffle your knight, lose the pawn. Okay. So you capture en passant. He doesn't. I mean, capturing en passant forces the knight to take, right? Capturing en passant here, knight takes. He still defends that. Wow. Yeah, so I think he made a mistake with this. Takes, rook takes. Yeah, I think Maoli is in a bad position here. Yeah, I'm totally not for how he played, like reshuffling his knight all the way here when all the play was on the king side. The queen side was locked, so just have to focus on solving where all the action is taking place, which is basically on the king side. Yeah, this pawn is just dangerous. At least for now, it's not seen, but it's quite a dangerous pawn. I don't know. It's like playing this move viable, because if your opponent does take this way, you just make a very dangerous pass pawn here as well. So I'm looking at if. What am I saying? You can only move one at a time. That's stupid. Yeah, I'll be looking at that in the future. Maybe not now, but in the future, that'll be a move for concern. And this is the current position we are in. Okay, so give me a second, guys. Let me restart the stream. Let's move over to Twitch. So give me a second.